So I'm going to do a quick introductory video on how to write a function rule. So you have four tables. So in a moment here, you should probably pause this video so you can jot down these tables here. Okay. And now I'm going to start to talk about it. So what you want to do is, so this is our input column, the X column, the f of X or g of X or whatever, that's the output column. So what we have to do is we have to figure out what has to be done to each of these inputs to get to this output. But whatever you select has to work for all these rows, like for all these coordinate pairs, this X, Y. And, you want to think about the basic arithmetic functions: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And then if none of those four work, you want to consider using, thinking about absolute value, thinking about doing exponents, stuff like that. So take a look. For the first thing I think about when I write a function rule, it's always going to be the second column equals. Okay, it's always going to be that. And then you want to figure out what do you have to do to the X to get to this. And let's look at this first one. I always think, the basic things first. Addition. How do I get from -2 to 0? Well, I'd have to add 2. Does that work here? If I add 2, I get 5. If I add 2, you know what? It works for all of them. So what am I adding to 2? I'm adding 2 to X. So f of X equals, take the X column and add 2 to it. And that is our function rule. That's all that's to it. Okay? Now look, this next one, to get from -6 to 18, I would have to add 24. Okay? But if I add 24 to 4, I don't get -12. That doesn't work. So you see, addition isn't going to work. Well, how else could I get from -6 to 18? Well, I could multiply by -3. How about if I multiply 4 by -3? Oh, that works. 4 times -3 is -12. 5 times -3 is -15. It works for all of them. So remember, I'm multiplying this by -3, but I don't write x times -3. I write -3x. This one's a little bit harder. Here, what could I do? I could add 12. -3 plus 12 is 9, but then adding 12 doesn't work here. I could multiply by -3. -3 times -3 would be 9. 0 times -3 would still be 0. But then it breaks down here. 1 times -3 wouldn't work. So what do I do? This is where you got to think a little bit, past your basic arithmetic. And, I think about exponents here. What's -3 squared? -3 times -3 is 9. How about 0 times 0? 1 times 1. Yeah, it works for all. It's m of x equals x squared. Now, this one can be tricky, too. What do I do to this to get to that? I could subtract 20. But then if I subtract 20 from 16, I'm not going to get 4. That doesn't work. I don't know. What do I do? Here it's the same. But what do you notice? What do all these things have in common? I hope that you notice that each of these rows adds up to 20. Think about this. If I went to the store and I was buying something and I was going to pay with a $20 bill. Okay? If the price of the item's $20 exactly, I would expect 0 change, right? If the price was 16, I'd expect $4 and change. Well, how are we figuring this out? If the price was 10, I get $10 and change. We're subtracting what? The price from the $20 bill that I'm giving. Yeah. You see, all of these rows added to 20. If I do 20 minus the price minus x, I get the right-hand column, the change. So that's how to write a function rule. Now, there's another video that goes along with this, but this will help you get started.